What is going on, guys? Tom and Varney back again from the JagrBombs podcast. We have no other guests today with us. Joe bailed. Sean's at work. He did put a nice video up today, so
Yeah,
I'll give him that. He
he
did.
contributed.
Other than the 3 stars being backwards, it was a very good video. He's getting better, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, so it's just us, the number one D pairing. So yeah, we'll talk NHL. We'll talk, and then we'll talk our league. You got to go to the captain's meeting yesterday because I didn't want to drive another hour back out there.
Yeah, they said refreshments.
Yeah,
First, I'm like, you know what? Sounds like free beer to me. I'm in.
I mean, there was beer. He just like hit it from the. How many captains were there?
There were 4 of us, and then there's supposed to be more. There's
On
another
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. But he just walked in while we were all kind of standing there, grabbed one of the plastic cases, and you see all this all soda and Gatorade. I'm like, oh man, there's no beer. And then you get up there and he's got all this. He's got like chips, snacks laid out on the table, and then you look on hidden behind the drinks, and there's some tall boys of beer. I'm like, that's all I needed to see.
I know we kind of already mentioned it in like our group chat and stuff like that, but this year compared to last year, just in the effort that Matt is putting through right now, and I don't think he watches this or anything, but it's appreciated. Like we love to see how much he's putting into it. He's taking our input, even down to like, hey, here's our roster we'd love, and we send it to him, and he's cool with it. Hey, we would love black and gold jerseys. Sends it to us. Like he's at least with our team, he's being very open and working with us. To where last year it was a big conundrum when you got traded off the team. I wasn't talked to about it, so I would like to think that if there were trades that happen, which there still might be trades to balance teams out, that he would talk like with me about it or with the other captains about it.
Better communication. I think that's been lacking for years, though.
Yeah,
communication between teams and what's going on game wise.
So I mean, as so far, it's been fantastic. I mean, like when his emails, like he's very good at getting back to me with emails, like maybe a day or two if he's at work or not. But very transparent. Like we were transparent with him, and vice versa. So it's appreciated. Like I said, he probably doesn't watch this, but Matt, we appreciate it. We're excited for the season to start. So with that being said, we do have our season starting on Saturday night against the Drunken Uncles, who are kind of our rivals.
Yeah, to an extent they are. When you look at it, I mean, you would think based on just on our connections, who we know, it would be the Fish. Granted, this year they're not the Fish anymore.
Yeah, what are they? Because I see Schmidt's names here, but he doesn't have a team name.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see. When you look at the rosters on there, you see the Molson Canadians. That's Matt. You look at that team and who's on it and stuff, and for the most part, I mean, they do have a really good roster themselves. I mean, Matt's not a bad player by any means. He was one of the top scorers. He was ahead of a lot of us the other league.
So this is the other half of the Fish, because they have Matt Grimes, that Wilcox is on there. Matt Groves is on there. Mike Cornett's on there.
Rich. Now,
and then Jason's their goalie.
And I think Jason is one who likes to stick with Rich, though. That's kind of where that connection first came.
Oh, okay.
I played with Jason obviously a couple of seasons, and good goalie, great guy. He understands the game, which is cool. But the interesting part of their roster is Chris Franzak. Now, not last winter, but the year before that, he was the he captained a team, and he played in about 3 games for the whole season. I mean, it was to the point.
I don't know what happened. All my screen went black. We're good.
Good. But yeah, there was an excuse, whether it was super tired from work, had a long day, not feeling too well, or like it was raining one time. He said, the weather's kind of crappy. I don't want to drive in it. I mean, it was one after another. It's to the point where, it's kind of a letdown. He's a good player, but when you have some of your best players that can't show up when needed, and then you don't have someone to fill in that role, it's like, so that'll be interesting to see. Like I said, that's kind of what he's been known for. So it'd be interesting to see that. But other than that, I mean, yeah, you see Schmidt and see what they got, and that is
Kelly on there, Bree's on there, Tegan's on there, Ashley's on there,
Dave,
Billy's on there,
Dylan.
Adam Holt. It's one of our friends. He likes to play with us. He's a good guy. And then is Tony the same goalie from before? He's the ginger.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, he's cool. I have no problem. He's a great glove. Great
glove. But if you get him down early, then see, that's the thing. Get on him early and often. And
I think it was summer season, I snuck one by him. I kept it low and just went just to the left of his leg, but like at ice level, hit the post and in. And he's like, "You snuck that in on me." I said, "You didn't save it, dog. Like, I don't know what to tell you." So their teams, those are their teams. The one I'm most excited for, besides us, obviously, is our friend of the podcast, Zach. He has his own team now. He has John Heck, who played on our team last winter. John's a cool kid. No problems with him. He has Brian D'Angelo. Brian played for us in the summer. The rest of the team, I don't know, though.
Some of the names,
Alex Wood, I feel like I know that name. But
their goalie is someone none of us know. I was
just I don't want to mention this name.
I will butcher that name if I say it.
Reinar
Lim Zolter.
They probably have a European professional goaltender.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try and guess, but we'll see.
I just a quick Google search. It brought me to a nurse practitioner out of East Amherst, New York. So it's possible. I don't know.
Okay.
It's possible that this is who it is, but yeah, I don't know their team. They're the Green Goblins. I don't think it's a terrible name. I know John said he went for the Irish JagrBombs, which I don't think is a bad name. It's just we're already the JagrBombs. So yeah. I thought it was. I think he was trying to keep it in like the drink realm since he's they're like a break off of us. But him and D'Angelo are really break offs. Zach's a fish. So
yeah, that is. So I mean, it's interesting to see some of them breaking off, and they've been quiet. There's not been a lot of movement there, or haven't heard much from them. So it's definitely interesting to see how it'll play out.
But we're going from what, 6 teams last year to 14.
Yeah. And so that was a talking point on this. So we have the first 2 games of the schedule out. We got Saturday at Holiday and
Friday.
Next week Friday at Leisure. The third week is, from what he says, he has it on paper, just hasn't submitted it yet, hasn't added that. That should be there tomorrow. Now, Thanksgiving is going to be a break. He's going to take the week off. I believe we did take it off last season.
But we didn't take Christmas off.
Yeah, we didn't based on when it was. So Christmas and New Year's last year were on, if I'm correct, I want to say Monday.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, but there were still plenty of people that were out because they went out for Christmas like the week before, and we missed.
Yeah, and being that, Christmas this year and New Year's are on a Wednesday. As of right now, there's no change to that. We're still going to play. There's no time off. As of now, like I said, thanks. So the plan is to play 3 weeks, kind of like we did last year. You played 3 weeks. I think we actually had 4 by that. We started a week earlier last year.
We had 4 weeks because then there was the preseason.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this is going to be. The same thing. We'll do our 3 games. Get that break on Thanksgiving. Matt's going to try to get a skate and shoot set up, get some ice. Give us some ice time.
Oh, on that week off?
Yeah, so that way, cool. Guys because there are going to be people. I'm sure Joe will be, I don't know. I think that's a big hunting weekend.
I don't fucking
That
know.
sounds like a
Joe's already gonna miss week 2 because of hunting. So
yeah.
fucking his shot's trash. He can't imagine it's very good with a sniper or a sniper rifle either. But anyways, I digress. So I guess with that, did he? I know there's an upper league, or there's beginner, middle, upper. Did they
Yeah.
mix the upper and the middle again?
So I think right now all the leagues, I mean, if you look, there's no separation. It's 14 teams, nothing separated. The goal is to play the 3 weeks and see the skill level, see which teams are struggling. If they want, obviously his plan is to ask, who wants to make trades, who wants to do this, and then figure out which teams will be upper, and who knows, there might not be a lower. It might all be a middle upper division. I mean, it depends on the skill level. I mean, based on this, I mean, and even with some of these teams, when you look at it, I mean, Pitter Patter has always been one that struggled. Now they always struggled getting a full team.
We know, my wife knows someone personally from their team. They don't care how they do. They don't care wins or losses. They are a tight knit group where they just want to play with each other. But if one's out, they're all out because they're all on a trip together. So that's Pitter Patter is like an oddball one where it's like they don't care if they win or lose.
Yes. Now that brings me to another topic. So Matt is also looking at this year if there's a team that needs a week, like say we're gonna have half our team gone, and it's gonna be tough. Instead of us trying to find 5 subs, is that certain teams will get a bye.
Gotcha.
If there is a week where a lot of us can't make it, we can't find the subs for that week. Instead of forfeiting, if you let them know ahead of time, at least a week ahead of time, get a bye, reschedule, and work around it. That's already an issue. One of the guys last night said they have a team where half their team, there's a tournament out of town, and they're all going to be gone. So he's definitely working with us a lot more on that scheduling. And I mean, for a lot of it, I mean, for our team, that is the other thing. We have the smallest roster, due to the fact that, obviously our request, and we are down, obviously, some from last season. So we do currently have the smallest roster. So if there is anyone that ends up being able to join later, that was the talk, is that they would probably get thrown on. I mean, on ours. Now, obviously, it depends on the skill level, but for the most part, that's right now that's where they would go. But I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I like the size of our roster. I think last year we struggled having a larger roster. We were one of the few teams that usually had, a full bench
team show up.
every week.
And I know, like, we both play defense. Like, I hated when we had 3 defensive pairings.
Yes.
It like when you come off and by the time you're about to go on, you're cold again. Like, you're not ready to go. Like, when we run 2 D pairings, you come off, you get what, minute and a half, maybe 2-minute break, but like it's enough to catch your breath, but your legs are still warm, you're still ready to go. And that's the biggest issue with playing forward, especially when we had 3 full lines. It's the same deal, especially when people don't change when I tell them to. And not when I tell them to, when it's like, hey, you're not moving your feet, you're tired, guys, like just change it up. Like, if you're all taking 45-second shifts and you're all getting the same amount of ice time, but you're fresher.
Yes, that's the biggest part. We have to try and get everyone. If we're gonna just have 2 established lines and that's it. I feel like we should have a pretty good shot at getting them. Like, okay, you 3 are playing together. If you're on there and you see 2 of your line mates get off the ice, you need, that's your cue. Get off.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're not that tired yet, well. I mean, perfect. You're save then you won't be then you'll be even more fresh your next shift.
Yep.
I mean, it's try to stick together and keep all fresh legs.
And like with this, I think we need, so like Joe and Sean are going to be up there. I think they need to kind of take the reins and call for those line changes, or even like if you see one person is just on a different wavelength with their line, being able to change that. Like, we go into it very strategical rather than like we're there to have fun. Let me preface this: we're there to have fun, but we don't like to lose. But we like to go in there. We like to kind of have a headspace where we're a real team. If we want to go in there, we want to have other lines, but we need those people to call out like, hey, you're not running with them, Roel. Like you're playing this way. Why don't we switch you and you? Like put you on the first line, put them on the second line, and then the same thing with us. Like you and I are going to be our pairing, and then we're going to have Benny and Grace. But if there's something that's not clicking with them, or we can switch and then we work well, we just have to be able to make those adjustments and those calls and not kind of be stuck in our ways. And I think we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, we have the right mindset. I mean, as long as everyone, you got to play your role and play as a team.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, other than that, I mean, like I said, there were a few things this year. Again, I brought up, even though we just brought it up yesterday, right before, is team goal songs.
Yeah.
As Matt was talking about it, saying, obviously the goal is to get more music. He knows how it is. It gets boring. Your mood. I mean, just the game itself. When it's quiet, you stop the puck stops. You gotta go all the way down the ice. Even if it's 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
In between, a face off. Music comes on. Just like you do, especially in between periods.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is to get he's got a playlist and getting them, and they use Apple Music, so that'll be a problem. But I mean, I know at Leisure, like he was saying, they did that one rink, they complete teardown, brought it, got it down bare, redid the whole rink.
Yeah.
They actually have the speakers above that would be the left side rink. They're putting all new speaker system in, which is great. It's nice to see that they're investing in it. So that's supposed to be up and running. Obviously, as far as I know, Holiday all works. There's nothing there. So with that, the when I brought up the goal songs, likes the idea. Wrote it down. It's definitely something he's going to bring up tomorrow, and try to see what they can do. If we can help as well, because the big thing is execution. Obviously, you'd have to have they have a score sheet. The goal would be you'd have to. I think the best way to do it would be to every team picks their goal song. Obviously, you want to make sure it's somewhat appropriate. Still a family atmosphere. Well, maybe not on the ice, but it's family atmosphere for sure. You bring your everyone brings their you bring your wife, girlfriend, kids, whoever. So you want to keep it toned down a bit, but pick a song, send it in, get a playlist, of, and then they say, as long as they have that, if they know which two teams are on the ice, or there's only two teams playing.
Put that in their own playlist, and then it's like, this is ours, that's theirs.
Just you get a playlist and just put it in as the goal, team goal song, rec league goal songs, and you put the team name next, under each one. Or I feel like there's definitely a way they could do it. Again, it all depends on the scorekeeper.
So with the scorekeeping, I know earlier before the season was really mentioned or anything, he was looking for scorekeepers where they're going to pay us and stuff like that, to improve scoring, to improve the music, stuff like that. So like I told him that I would be like, if it's a night that I'm going to be there, I will absolutely do it if it's a game before me or a game after me, and then I'll make my money back for that game of the season. And not even just like the money aspect, but I don't know if I've talked about it in here or not, but I know I've mentioned it before. Like my dream would be to have a league, like a rec league like this, where we do the atmosphere of an NHL team. You have your intros, like not necessarily like introducing everyone, but you have the music and the lights and everything. When you come out, you have a goal horn, you have the goal song, just like that atmosphere that gives us that escape from reality to be like, oh shit, we're like professional hockey players. Like having jerseys like this, and I don't think the jerseys we have are bad, but like we got to pick out our own jerseys, we got our names, we got our numbers on the back. So I think that's something that I would love to build towards, and maybe that's something that this league can slowly become. And it takes some time, takes some money. I know we're without a sponsor for the league right now, which is a big shot to Matt, which he didn't know about, so it makes it that much tougher. But if there's things that we can do to help the league, absolutely. Like, why would we not? Why, like, I know, like, when we seen that Zach and John's team, the Green Goblins, made an Instagram, we're like first, like, initially I'm like, oh, they're trying to be us, but then I'm like, calm down, like, let's back up. No, this is great for the league. They're trying to expand like we are. They're gonna try and help the league grow like we are. Like, it's good for everyone to have that kind of stuff. So, you know, if they're putting into it, we're putting into it. Matt's obviously putting into it. Like, those little things will help boost the league where we want it to be, and kind of like that grand view that I've talked about for the past couple of years.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. So that was another point he brought up. Is I brought up the jerseys. Again, he didn't say no. He just brought up certain issues. Obviously, he said the original problem was going to be the sponsor.
Yeah.
Like I said, he found out a week before registration opened that, hey, guess what? We don't have a sponsor. He fully expected. He sent, he contacts them to make sure it's all good, ready to go, and lo and behold, he puts out registration. They're like, oh yeah, new ownership. We're not sponsoring anything. We're sticking to, our larger markets, and it kind of, that definitely hurts the league. But it's awesome that still trying to do what they can and keep it going. But the thing with the jerseys, I brought up the idea. I said, if we do get a sponsor, if we have our own jerseys, can we, as long as we can put it on there. Now, that's something they can do, because they're going to make up, if we have sponsor, they're going to make up, sponsorship names to put on the jerseys. They do, everything's, done there at the pro shop. They order blank jerseys. They put our numbers and the sponsors on them every year when we do the league. So it is something we can do. I think the biggest issue is, he said, if we all get jerseys, obviously we're same colors, all that, but if there's a trade, if someone's obviously too good and there's a trade and that, then that's where it becomes complicated. So I think the biggest thing is this year, if, again, I have some ideas, with through the racetrack, working there's some sponsors that I figure, I'm hoping that maybe I can get in contact with, and hopefully they'd be interested. I mean, so far they've been interested in local businesses, and I think that's key, especially for these local breweries and stuff.
Yeah,
that's great. They should be, local business. That's, you support local, we support local.
Yeah, I mean, we used to go to Resurgence just because they were our league sponsor. Guess who's not going to Resurgence anymore? Like,
yeah. But I mean, it's something. The way that he worded it was, if we decided, we wanted to have that freedom. You make your own team. You pick your own jerseys, and there's just more of that atmosphere of a bigger, kind of like a more competitive league and game. There was a talk of possibly making the Rec League a division of the Labatt League. So, there would be that. Granted, that can cause a little bit more issues. It is a little bit, it can be more competitive. You would possibly run into some teams that are a little better than you, and the competition would be different. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Again, you'd also be dissolving the Rec League, and there's a lot of players that I think that would hurt. I'd love to see it stay of the Rec League and kind of maybe adapt as we go.
I think like, I don't think there has to be a change to the league. I think that we just need to have a little bit more freedom. So as simple as like, hey, Matt, we'd like these color jerseys. Like, hey, what color does everyone want? Or, hey, like, we send in our roster. He knows our roster from last year. Is it good? Yes. But is it like, are we ready for Labatt? Absolutely not. I think we're an up and down team. I think, like, we have a very mixed skill levels, but we're a good group of friends, really. So I think, like, with us, he knows our levels, and he should be like, okay, these guys all signed up together. And again, it's tough because he has to manage 18 teams, 14 teams. Hey, we're getting jerseys. We're going to match. like this is what we're planning on doing, and then it's like, okay, the JagrBombs are set. Like I know where their skill level sits. Boom, don't have to touch them. But then there's the other teams that are kind of thrown together and then pull from there and move people. That's, again, in a perfect world, that's what I would love, so we can do things like this. But I understand where Matt's coming from. I'm obviously not upset or mad or anything like that. I know personally I'm going to be wearing this jersey.
Yep.
It's
I mean,
black. It's black and gold. It has my name, my number, my C. So I mean, there's nothing. I don't know. It's not gonna, like, we're not gonna be standing out against any of these other teams because our jerseys are black. We're the only black team in the league, I think. The only ones that's a little bit tough, I think the Bad News Blades are black and gray, maybe.
So I think
they're black, white, and gray, which is like with the Kings, but I don't know how that one will work.
And the Bad News Blades also might end up being the upper division. I believe
that's also what I'm thinking, but it's showing. So their first two games, Shorzy's their first one, and the Zamboni crime family. I know Zamboni was upper, but maybe they're bumping Shorzy up.
That is always a possibility. They were a stronger team.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they were in the upper division for one of the years.
Oh, okay.
They did play upper once, and now their only weak spot that I know for sure is their goaltending.
Yep.
He is, well, it's old. It's an old school style, you know. He's not a butterfly goalie.
It's old Tom Delano style.
Oh, yeah, we don't need to get into that one. Yeah, I mean, at least Wolowitz goes down, and you know he can move side to side.
He's robbed us. I mean, he really has. Yeah. So,
we lost games. I couldn't score on him the last time I played him.
Yeah,
I think the last time I scored on him, I went up. I shot it up high and went off the side of his helmet. Kind of felt bad after that, but
I am gonna try and be more aggressive this year. Because I feel like I tend to sit back a little bit more and kind of cover, like a more stay-at-home defenseman. But my confidence level is a little bit up from just like carrying the puck in our skate and shoots and summer league, stuff like that. And I think I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive. Not enough that's gonna put us into like any sort of odd man breaks or anything coming back the other way. But I mean, between you, Benny, and Grace, like our skating ability on the back end I'm the worst one of the four of us. And I don't feel like I'm half bad. So,
I mean, obviously Grace has the best skater on the team. I will, that's hands down.
Benny's fast. He's extremely fast.
He's fast, but he's not as agile.
He's a little wild. He gets a little wild. And then you're very controlled. And then I don't know. I feel like I have decent control until I don't. Like I'm fine, and then all of a sudden I look like a baby. I look like Bambi on the ice. Like I just lose my edges.
Not that bad. I said Benny is like Luis. He's like Luis Mendoza. At the speed, but I don't know if he can stop.
I stopped. Shoot.
Put it in, Luis.
So and then up front, we just have to have more defensive responsibility from especially our centermen. I think Joe and Josh are going to be our centermen. So both of them have Joe has played defense. So and Josh played defense first in summer. So they should both be good. Their skating abilities there. Joe likes to get in front of shots, so he likes defense.
But as long as he's getting in front of their shots and not ours this time.
So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this season. I'm just ready to play. I hope my work doesn't affect it too much. I already talked to them and kind of like let me like move my stuff around. So I'm hoping that they do. They know this is like my one and only thing I do outside of work. So, but that's pretty much all I have about the league. Do you have anything else?
I said not really. He's got a nice rules packet, but we don't need it wasn't too much. I mean, it's just gonna go off a lot of things. Obviously, officiating's always been kind of an issue which we've talked about. The biggest thing is we say laziness.
Yep.
There's a lot of they don't really care. It's not really paying attention. Not knowing the rules.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I brought up. And I'm like, well,
Dude grabbed the puck and in his zone and threw it out. And I'm like, that's a penalty. He goes, no, you can grab the puck with your hand. I said, in the air, you can't pick it up off the ice.
You can't throw it.
Yeah,
that's it. You can't throw it.
We were down 1 goal we chip it into their zone, and the dude, he drops his stick and then pounces on the puck and then throws it over his head. And that they didn't say shit. They didn't do shit about it. Blew my mind. And then I gave it to the ref after that one.
Yep.
I was motherfucking that ref.
They don't really care about the rules or anything. Like I said, obviously our league, the puck hits the netting around the rink. It's in play. Obviously, it hits the bench. It hits behind the bench or the ceiling, anything like that. It's a stoppage. Yeah. They always get very confused. One ref will blow a whistle. Everyone stops. The other one says, no, keep playing. Once they blow that whistle, you have to do a face-off. The play's dead. You blew the whistle. Everyone stopped playing it. It ruins the momentum of the play.
Yep.
So that's a big thing, is kind of getting the refs into it where, like, hey, you need to start caring more and pay more attention. There was a time last season. There was a time 2 teams, plays going into the one end, refs standing, leaning up on the bench, talking to another player, talking about the guy's stick. He got a new stick. So, next thing you know, he's holding that player's stick, that player's on the bench, and he's sitting there flexing on the ice, checking the flex. Refs doing that while the play's going the other way. Now, again, there have been issues with certain refs with certain things. The goal is to try and remedy that. Little things like that they've talked about. The subs, there is, and this is where I have to pass this on to you. We have a whole sub list.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Now it has all the captains in their, in their email. The goal is, your first thing to do is contact another team captain to try and get a sub. You want to get someone in the league.
Okay.
That is the first goal, because also the captains are the first ones you want to sub for you, I guess, is the goal. See if another team captain can play on your team. But then there's a list of skaters and then goalies. There's 7 skaters on the sub list. See here. And now then there's a list of goalies. The first one on that list is Matt.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've actually seen him in pads before. But I definitely want to.
So I watched, because he played in the lower division during the summer, and I actually wanted to skate with him because I've got pads and stuff like that. The one clip I seen of him, I was sitting there. They cleared the puck down the ice. He came out to play it. He missed it, and it went in his net. That's the one. That's the only thing I've seen of him. So based on that, I can't say anything. But I know he played that whole season down there. So who am I to say? I gave up 14 goals in my debut against the Bad News Blades. So, but I didn't give up the most in that season against them. So I am backup. So I'm the backup for our team. So hopefully we don't need that. Hopefully Alex shows up, but I should probably go and get some skating in as a goalie.
On that note, 7 skaters on the sub list.
How many goalies?
22 goalies.
Holy shit.
We have 14 teams. And usually there are teams that are struggling to find a goalie.
Yeah.
Again, 22. Obviously, you're going to have the other goalies on the other teams that are on this list.
Yeah.
So that's 14 of them. But, I mean, on top of that, that's still 8 other goalies. Matt being one of them. But the fact that there's 8 other goalies that aren't in the league that are on this list.
Is my name on the sub list for goaltending?
Your name, that's a good question. I think I looked. It is not.
Okay, because I remember I emailed him and asked him, like, hey, if you need anyone to sub for the lower division, like, I'm free. If I'm free, I will absolutely do it. So that would have been funny to get a call about playing goalie for another team. And
yeah, I know. The one thing is talking about the sub list. The biggest thing is you don't. Obviously, that's the first. The first thing is they want you to use the list. If you don't, and you do bring someone in, you have to ask him first. The problem is they're supposed to have the insurance,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
AAU insurance. So that's the biggest thing. That's why it has to be someone on this list or from another team. Now, from what we're told, and this is where I was never really knew how it worked. If a sub comes in that's on the list that's not on a team,
Mhm.
like they're not technically in the league, they're just on the sub list, they have to pay a $20 sub
That's
fee in
so
the
that's
pro shop.
so that's not new. I just don't think anyone's ever paid
And
that.
that's where I'm like, you know what? I've never heard that because I've subbed on. Now, if you're
If you're in the league,
in
you
the
don't have to
league,
pay
you
it.
don't pay.
Yeah, yeah.
But now the other part they were talking about was jerseys. Obviously, you need to have, you want to have a jersey. What I think we came up with, because it was okay. Well, you have the sub. If the sub has to go in the pro shop anyways, what do you do? Do you leave the
Mm.
jersey there? Do you leave them with the team captain? But what if the captain's not there? So it was what their plan is to leave in the pro shop. They're going to get a reversible jersey, a black and white, so it's light and dark,
Oh, okay.
and it's going to have just a set number on it, and they're going to do one of each size in the pro shop. So I'm
Okay,
granted,
that's not a bad idea.
because the biggest problem is then you have someone that you wear another team member's jersey that's not
Yeah.
there, and that's kind of what they don't want. So I'm like, all right, it makes sense. I mean, if their jersey from their team is nothing like the other teams, then fine with me. I mean, if someone's wearing a
Yeah.
red jersey and we're playing someone that's in yellow, then then they can wear the red jersey
Yeah,
and
I
play
mean,
with us.
like, so my mind immediately went to playing with Zach on the Green Goblins. Like, I actually just texted John and said, "Hey, if you guys ever need a sub, hit me up first. Like, I'll play. Like, I don't give a shit. I like hockey. They're green, so if they're going up against, I don't know, let's say the Nightmare or whatever they used to be. They're the Smitch team. They're what, blue, white, and red now.
Yeah.
If I wear a black jersey, I'm not gonna throw them off. Like if I wear just a greenish jersey, it's not gonna throw them off. So that's what I was just thinking. They actually have a smaller roster than we do. They have 12.
I think we have 12. I thought.
I thought we had 13. They have 12 for sure. I just counted theirs. And we have sorry. God, the black and I'm so excited we have black and gold.
Yeah.
And I know other people are like, really, you pick Pittsburgh Killers? No shit. Like,
yeah. I mean, we definitely could have asked.
oh, we have 12 also. We have 12 also.
Yeah, we definitely could have asked for a different color. I mean, there were some options. We could have got the camo jerseys. I mean, no other team would have the same color as ours.
The
But
Miami Vice would have been cool.
Yeah.
I know Josh is a big one of those, or the powder blues.
Yeah, the powder blues. Oh,
been sick,
I love the powder blues.
These are my favorite jersey all time. So
I mean, again, I still have the my
light.
away jersey, alternate one on the way, just because to have it. You never know. You don't want to do you do a pickup game. You got to have a dark and a light jersey.
Sure, fair enough.
So
so that's pretty much it for the league. We start Saturday. I did test out the lavalier mics earlier today, and they do sound really good. So I'm interested to see. My buddy Nate's gonna come. I think we're gonna put him on you and Joe for the first game. Hear Joe huffing and puffing about how he's out of shape, and then a lot of swearing from you. So Nate will be able to just focus on you guys. So
I'm a saint. No swearing out of me.
So I'm excited for that. I guess we can bump over to the NHL. We haven't talked about that. We've spent 40 minutes talking about a rec league that no one gives a shit about but us. I know.
Hopefully, hey, fans in the stands. That's
put bums in seats.
Yes, some bums in seats here, guys. 8:15 Saturday, holiday. Be there
in Buffalo, New York. Let's just preface that.
Yes, holiday rink in Cheektowaga, New York.
Yeah,
be there. Fill the stands. Cheer us on. Drink some beer.
We'll do get in a fight. Hot dogs afterwards.
Yes, there will be
meet and greet autograph session with hot dogs. All right, so a few news stories. McDavid, he's returning tonight. after missing
Yep.
3 games. Twisted his ankle there in Columbus, so he is back.
And that was actually very surprising. He was originally listed as
week to week.
I think they said he was expected to miss 10 games up to 3 weeks.
So he's back in a
That
week.
was the prognosis. So 3 games, 1 week. But you hope that they're handling that the right way. And they're not rushing it. I know it's also up to him. It's his discretion, but you got to hope that he's not rushing it because you know how, we're all the same. We want to help our team. If we feel like we can play, we're going to play, and that's, I mean, with the Oilers, I mean, he is the heart and soul of that team. They have Draisaitl, they have Zach Hyman, who is actually starting to play better after last year's amazing season. You'd never expect him to be that goal scorer that he's turned into, but started off slow and he's actually starting to come back into form. Part of that with McDavid being out in the last 3 games, I think that's helped. He's had to play a bigger role in that to fill that space. So, but yeah, I'd like to see how it plays out. You hope that again they're not rushing it back. You want him to be healthy and later on in the season when you're fighting for that playoff spot.
And we kind of, I mean, they're right in the middle of the pack in that Pacific. They're 5th. They're just 6 points away from the Kings of all teams that are number 1. But they're just 1 game out of a playoff position. I know we're super early, but it's no time to panic and rush someone back in. A team that should be panicking a little bit because they don't know to finish a game with a lead. Is my Pittsburgh Penguins. Blew another 2-goal lead last night to the Islanders.
Yep, that was
lost in a shootout.
But Bo Horvat, I mean, you see his shootout move?
Yeah,
it was a pretty good move.
And
it was very good.
Ned had it. His pad was just up, but yeah, it was a nice move. But bigger news from that is Sid tallied another one. He is 2 away from 600.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see if he can do that this next game, but
yeah, they're going up against what do they have? Carolina, who beat the shit out of them last time we played. Carolina's at a 92 record, now, top of our division, the Metro.
The question's going to be the goaltending. If, as some of you might know, Anderson is out currently. They've had Kochekov starting, and he's been really good for them. I think he played good last year when they needed him, and he is definitely a good backup and can fill that void right now. But I don't know long term. I don't know. They don't know exactly how long Anderson will be out. He's had injury issues the last couple seasons with them. But I mean, you never know with Carolina. They do have a really good defense, though. I think they're still one of the top teams. So, Crosby's he's had again a few multi-goal games already. So
yeah, he kind of was quiet for a little bit, and then these past couple of games he's bounced back and he's looked really good. He's had nice deflections in the net. 2 games ago, or I guess 2 games ago against the Canadians, he had that beautiful shot from the right side, snuck it by. I think he had 2 goals that game also, and he had 2 goals against Anaheim. So he is what's keeping the Penguins into it. When I was watching the game last night, the Islanders, they're not a pushover team. They are a big team. What I did see was the Penguins game has completely changed in a sense that they're playing big now. They're scrummy. They're getting in the corners. They're battling. They're after the whistle. They're going at people. Graves with a nice fight at the end of the game against the Canadians. When this is what I've been saying since the beginning of the season, since last season, we're not this young team that we were. We're not fast, but we have big guys. Fucking play big, boys. Like, play big, play strong. I mean, our defense is a little bit undersized, but Graves is 6'5", so I hope he's there to punch someone in the face.
And Malkin actually, he's a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's someone that can push you around, especially along the boards in the corners.
Yep.
He can win those battles. I mean, I know he's age-wise, he's getting up there and slowing down a bit, and maybe he doesn't want to get into some of those battles, but with some of these smaller guys, especially the younger ones, they don't know that type of game. They're still thinking they're just going to skate by you and they're going to get that speed. So, he can still push some guys around.
So there's 3 names that come to mind on what I've been seeing. Number 1, best player on the ice. He has been for the past month, probably, is Noah Akari. Talked about him last week. He's just everywhere. I want to say it was Suzuki stepped up on him coming to the blue line. Akari was entering the zone. Suzuki stepped up, and Akari just ran him over. Suzuki went right to the bench. Clean hit, clean. It was just, he just said nah and ran through him. Like, that's what he's doing. He's only 5'11", but he's running through people. Bunting, not really on the radar. Drew O'Connor, small. He's 6'4", 209 pounds. He's tall, but he's not a big guy. He's in every scrum right now. Every single
been
scrum,
really
he
strong
is in
around
the
the
middle
net.
of it. Yes, which is surprising because that's not what he is really like. That's not what he was brought up to do. He was brought up to bring that like faster style game, like a Getzel or a Rusty. But he's been in every single scrum. The other, and then the last guy I've talked about it a little bit last week too is Jesse Boyardi. Just his play style has evolved since Edmonton, since Carolina. He's 6'4". He's playing his size. He's not just trying to be fancy. He is going to the corner. He's shoving people. He is getting in those scrums. So, let the top 6 do their scoring. Sid, Raquel, they look great. Malkin got one on the score sheet last night too. And then let your bottom 6 guys grind away. Let them fight. Let them hit. Let them grind. And then you just need your defense to hunker down, and you might be all right. Your goaltending with Ned and Bloomquist, again, our goals against is shit, but I don't think it's their fault. No. Again, last couple games, we're looking much better in those in the scoreboard. Giving up 2 last night technically, 3. 1 to the Canadians and then 1 to the Ducks. That's what you need to see. So I don't think it's goaltending. They just need to bunker down in the back end. They need the bottom 6 to do what bottom 6 does and just keep scoring on the top 6. That's what they've been lacking, and that seems to be what they're fixing. And then the last thing we were going to talk about, I think, is the Colorado Avalanche, who they do have 2 people on point streaks. One is day-to-day. McKinnon, 25 points. How many games? You know the games.
I believe it's 13. So they were riding a 12-game point streak going into their last game. So, of course, McKinnon and who am I thinking? Makar. Between the 2 of them, to have a forward defenseman duo both be on a point streak, this is to start the season. This is something that you usually don't see too often.
Yeah, and we're talking about a team that's 6th in the Central. They're 6 and 7. So
against Seattle last night, they scored 6 goals on 32 shots, and again, you got McKinnon and Makar. Just they're involved on almost every goal. They're getting involved on. Their power play has actually been starting to come to life. Was it Arturi Lehkonen? He just came back. That was his first game back this season, and he scored, and he actually showed a lot of speed. I think he brings a lot of speed, especially to their power play unit. Especially with some of the guys that are out, I think they've definitely struggled. Also coming back, if you guys are familiar with Val Nichushkin with his issues left, Nichushkin. It's one of those names, but he is coming out of the player assistance program, which has been a hot topic for the last year. There's been a handful of names that have been entered in that in the last year, but they're supposed to be getting him back, hopefully by next Friday. This is the right time. They started the season obviously, up and down. They're scoring goals, but they're also, again, they give up more goals than they score at this point most of the time. Georgiev is obviously still Forgiev, giving up at least 4 goals a game. So I mean, I get it. They're struggling, but they're getting a big boost with some of these guys, especially their big guys. But yeah, McKinnon and Makar, they're on 13 game point streaks now, and McKinnon, as far as I know, is expected to still play. He said he left late in the game on last night, but he's expected to be okay and be in the lineup for the next game. So I think it'd be really cool to see how long those point streaks can go. Even if it doesn't hold for one of them, I mean, to start a season like that is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was kind of looking at the goal differentials here. And with the Avalanche, they're a -8. They're 6 and 7 on the year, which a -8 is kind of, it's right in the middle of the pack. But then you look at these teams that are winning. The Winnipeg Jets are a +32.
Yes,
they're 12 and 1. They're disgusting. The Capitals, they're a +13. Rangers a +20, and that, I mean, it's kind of, we're talking about it, like how important is goaltending. It's been an ongoing topic for us. It seems to be pretty damn important, and it's just not in the Avalanche favor right now. They're scoring goals. That's not the problem. It's just they're not getting enough saves from their netminder.
Yeah, and a big topic right now, speaking of the Jets, with that goal differential, is their power play. They, going into last night's game, which they beat Utah 3-0, shutout win, another shutout for Connor Hellebuyck. And let me tell you, they're going in at a 44% power play rate. That is just astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
A team that has a 17-18%, usually those are good teams.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can go 1 for 5 every night, you're solid.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get, when you're going at almost 50%, their power play, their puck movement has been very good, especially going around. I mean, you got Scheifele, you got Kyle Connor, you got Morrissey, who, in my opinion, if the Norris Trophy was given out to the best all-around defenseman, I believe he would have at least 1, maybe 2. Obviously, I think we brought this up last week. The problem is with the Norris and a lot of these trophies, they're going to, the top scoring defenseman. And, you can have the best, you can score the most goals. You could lead the league in goal scoring. But if your team finishes outside the playoffs because, okay, you're scoring goals, but you're not playing defense and you're giving up goals, then I don't see how you should be rated the best defenseman. So, yeah, I mean, he's playing with, a whole new, at a whole new level this year compared to even the last few years. And he was one of the top defensemen, if not the best, the last couple of years. So I think it'll come down to him and Makar, definitely, for that Norris Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, the Jets, they keep putting the puck in the net. Their goaltending. Eric Comrie, who couldn't stop a beach ball with the Sabres. He struggled everywhere he went, but he goes back to Winnipeg, and he has played great for them this year behind Hellebuyck. We all know Connor Hellebuyck is probably, he's definitely in the top 3 goaltenders in the entire league. And he has been for a while now, but they're, right now the Central Division, they're undefeated in their division, which is also huge. But in my opinion, the division in the West goes through Winnipeg right now.
Yeah, and it really is. They play an all-around game. They just play a complete game. They're heavy on the forecheck. They're very, very solid on that back end, and then they have the tandem and goal and net. Talking about Hellebuyck, he's second best in goals against at a 2.1, only to Kevin Lankinen of Vancouver, who's a 2.09. So literally nothing. They're tied for first in my mind. He's 9-1. Lankinen is 6-0-2. So that's what's winning them games. So then on the flip side, we're talking about the Avalanche. This is based on goalies that have played 5 or more games. Georgiev is the worst on this list at a 4.62 with a 1-4 record. So he just makes that 5 games or more. It says he's played 6, so it looks like they yanked him and didn't get a win or a loss on it. But
I say they've been playing. I believe it's Annanen.
And that's a name.
Annanen or Anunen.
Let me look. Team.
But he's been the one that's been they've been going to.
Anunen. Then he's Finnish.
Yes, and he is. They've been going to him. He has been their go-to guy now.
8 games, 5 wins. He's a 2.64 goals against with an 0.894 save percentage. So he's a 5-3 record right now. And he splits that goals against in half. So 4th overall pick from the 2018 draft. So he's not young in any means. He's 24 years old. Looks like he looks like he's played like onesie twosies for them. Played 14 games last year, 12 starts, an 8-4 record, with a 1 overtime loss. So, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Georgiev. He's just not who he was the past couple years. So
yeah, I mean, he was good in the heat. I mean, this all started last year, first round, game 1 of the playoffs last year, wild card round. He was just, I mean, he was terrible. I mean, they won that, but they won it on goal scoring, not goaltending.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same. I mean, that was the problem. I mean, you also have to look. It was against Winnipeg, and they played a really good game last year until they got to the playoffs. Game 1, I believe it was a 7-6 final score. It was high scoring, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the series. It was every game was high scoring. It was back and forth. Winnipeg scoring almost 4 goals a game in the playoffs, and they still lost that series, I believe, 4-1. So, I mean, goaltending in the playoffs is just as important. I mean, that's why I'm worried. Some of these teams, they might ride these goalies, I mean, pretty hard this year and think, we're going to get 50 wins out of them. But, if you're getting 50 wins in an 82 game season, how many losses? How many games are you playing them?
Yeah.
You can't do is what you used to do with them. You gotta get that balanced goaltending. I mean, there are some teams that have a really good goalie duo. Not Buffalo not being one of them, of course.
They gotta pick who they're running with as their number 1. So they need to pick. I know it looks like it's more. It looks like it's more Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen as their number 1, but I don't know if he's the right choice. They're paying him, so I feel like that's the biggest thing. But they just have inconsistencies. We went and seen them play Detroit where they looked good, but still like kind of almost blew it at the end. They just blew up the Senators last night, as Sean covered in his video. But then they'll go into a game where they should dominate, and they don't.
And their game upcoming, they play the Rangers, and I'm going to tell you, that's a game I would worry about. Against the Rangers, Buffalo has been known to play well. I believe last year, I believe they might have actually had a winning record against them last year. Don't quote me on that, but they always played the Rangers very well last year, being how well the Rangers were last season. But again, goaltending. And then you also have to look at roster moves. Kulik has been sent down to Rochester. I believe that was actually the right move for him. He just didn't really fit in the lineup too well. And plus, there was a lot of rotation. Lindy Ruff was just moving a lot of guys back and forth and rotating the lines. You really got to get. You want to have solid lines. You don't want to be moving guys around constantly. Obviously, you want to find consistency and goal scoring and the chemistry, but sometimes you got to give those guys a few games. They might struggle. You might see, okay, we didn't win this game, but these three started to play together. They were pressuring, they were getting shots. Maybe they didn't go in, but if they're getting the shots, they're getting the pressure. Give them a couple games, and they're going to put the puck in the net. And I don't think that's been happening. I mean, they've just been. I don't think they've had consistent lines for more than 3 games in a row.
Yeah, and I mean that's a huge thing, line chemistry. And sometimes the bounces just don't go in, game 1 through 5, but on that 6th game, you guys could break out, and then you're lighting the lamp every night. So it's just trust in your players, and I don't think that there is much trust in anyone in Buffalo. JJ Peterka's looked fantastic. Tage Thompson's looked good, but outside of them, everyone's kind of wishy-washy on if you can trust them, or if they even do trust them. It just, I don't know enough about the Sabres to sit here and spit and say this person needs to be moved here and things like that. But they never have the same lineup, as you were saying. They never have the same names in the lineup. So, how are you supposed to build a line and build chemistry to know where this person's going to go if you're not playing with them outside of practice? We were talking about goaltending again. So the Rangers have Igor Shesterkin. He's at a 6-2-1 record, a 2.22 goals against, and Jonathan Quick backing him up. He's a 2-0 record right now at 1.5. Quick lit it up last year. He was fantastic. They were an amazing goalie tandem. So nothing's really changed there. On the flip side, we have the Buffalo goaltending. We have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen a 4.41 at a 2.92 goals against, which isn't a bad goals against at all. It's just if his guys in front of him aren't scoring, there's nothing you can do. And then Devin Levi had a 1-3 record of a 3.9, so that's a little bit higher. Save percentage is a little bit lower at a 0.878. So, I mean, there's the tail of the goaltending there. I think that's going to be the big thing. The Rangers aren't a pushover team. They are a very fast and talented team, backed up by Trouba on the back end there. So, it should be an interesting game to watch. That game, Carolina, see if Penguins can bounce back. And then so we're on Crosby watch, really, for his 2 goals, which could happen. Ovechkin, I know he's getting closer and closer. I'm not sure exactly what his number is.
I believe, let's see, I was touching on that on Monday. So Ovechkin is very close. Being on their page right now, I believe he is 34 from tying the record, but he needs 35 to beat it. Again, he's been scoring every game, 4-game goal streak, and in those four games, he's had 5 goals. Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough. We're very early in the season, and he could get really hot. He could struggle. He's not going to score every game. I don't think he's going to score, 50 goals, 55 goals like he used to. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's going to be tough. If you want my opinion, I don't believe that he will hit that record this season. I do think he'll get close. I think he will score a total of, mid 30s, 35, 36 goals. But I believe he'll still fall a few short. I think he needed, I forgot what it was going in, like 42 goals.
He needed 42 goals coming into the season to break Gretzky's record. 2 seasons ago, he scored 42 goals. But in that season, he didn't hit 7 goals until his 34th game, and he's already at that mark. So on pace for a 52-goal season, which would have him breaking it this year. If he doesn't, he still has another year in his contract. I would be torn as a player if I don't finish out my contract. Like, I have 1 more year of my contract, 1 more year to do my farewell tour, and Ovechkin's going to get that, just like Fleury did in Pittsburgh. I think Ovechkin's getting it around the league. I think Crosby's going to get it around the league. Maybe even Malkin's going to get it around the league. What were we going to say?
I believe that's exactly how it is going to go. honestly, I think that I think it'll be mid-30s. I think he might fall, 7, 8 goals short. If he does, then again, you have 1 year left on your contract. And I think either way, he's going to finish it out. There's been talk that, okay, he beats the record this year, he retires. But I think he will definitely announce that he is retiring at the end of a season in the beginning of it. I think he will start the season by saying, this is my last year. He's not going to play the year and say, okay, now I'm retiring. I think he's going to want to plan it out and, say, okay, this is my last year and I'm going to, see what I got left. I think that it's going to go till next year. I think he's going to be, and that's why everyone's be on watch. It's going to be, okay, this is his last season. He's retiring. And guess what? He's going to break that record. It's just going to be a matter of when.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, I'd like, hey, we definitely want everyone else's opinions. Everyone else comment, see what you think, see what everyone else.
Yeah. Is Ovechkin breaking it this year, or is he going to do it next year? And then if he does break it this year, is he going to play next year?
Yeah. Is he going to break it or not? Is he going to retire next year or not? What's he going to do?
Yeah, and the team itself, the Capitals are 11 games in. They're sitting at an 8-3 record, which is way better than anyone thought they were going to do.
Yeah, they are more than expected, and they're still they're only in the middle of their division.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. So 8-3. They're just behind the Rangers by a point. The Rangers are 8-2-1. So just that overtime loss there that helped them out. The Devils, who have played 15 games, are just 2 points above them at an 8-5-2 record. And then the Canes up there at 9-2. So, I don't know. I think that's the time. Like that's what we're following. Obviously, we have Crosby about to hit 600 goals. That's for sure going to happen this year. So that will be, kind of the last milestone for the Penguins this year. I added this to my collection. There you kind of see it. It's Malkin 500th goal, collectible puck. When I went down to see Marc-Andre Fleury play his last game. So for Crosby, 600 is coming up. I don't see him hitting 700. I don't see Gino hitting 600. So sadly, that's kind of coming to the end of it. Sid has 2 more years on his contract, and I think Malkin has the same. And
I think if Crosby did not have the injuries, the concussions, I believe he missed a total of 2 full seasons.
Yep. Sure did. Prime of his career.
Plus a handful of others. Granted, we all remember those hits. Dirty hits should never have happened. But if he doesn't do that, I think I think this could, you could be talking about who's going to break the record first, Crosby or Ovechkin. I think, yes, Ovechkin is definitely when it comes to just pure goal scoring ability, I think he's the best to ever do it. When it comes to all around, I mean, Crosby, he's a centerman. He can win that faceoff. He does play a good defensive game. He's really good at back checking and getting back to the puck. But he's also a playmaker. He can score a goal, but he can set up a goal just as well as anyone. And I think that's where there's always been that topic. Who do you like better? Are you a Crosby fan or Ovechkin? In no way do I hate Ovechkin. He's a great hockey player. You'd be ridiculous just to say you hate him just because you like Crosby better. But, I've always been a Crosby just because of his playmaking abilities and his all-around game.
Growing up in Pittsburgh, we hated Ovechkin. But as I've gotten older and as I've watched his game, it was just the biasy in me talking, the black and gold in my blood, where he's and I openly say he's the best goal scorer to ever do it. I think Crosby's on a whole nother level though because of that all-around game, as you were touching on. I'm taking Crosby to start a franchise. I would redo it again, and I would take him again. I wouldn't change anything. In 1,286 games, Crosby has 1,611 points. Think about that goal difference, like that points per game right there in his entire career. So I think if he finishes this season a point per game, he'll break that record of most consecutive points per game seasons. So
yes, and that is just being anywhere for a player to even have over a half a point per game season is good. I mean, honestly, I think. I mean, if you're scoring over 40 points in a season, most players aren't. It's usually your top guys on your top line, your scorers. You only have a handful that really are going to do it. So, I mean, to be able to, and his point per game seasons, they're not 82 points. We're talking around at least around 100 points every single season. Some obviously a lot more.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, last year with that team that we had put up 94 points. Year before that, 93 points. Both of those years, they missed the playoffs. 84 season before, that was a shortened year. 2021, obviously shortened year, 62 points in 55 games. Like, it's just outstanding what he's done. And even in his shortened season in 2011, 2012, 37 points in 22 games. Imagine what that number would have been. 56 in 36 games. So, and then 13-14, he comes back and he puts up 104 in 80 games. So, that was his last time hitting. He had 120 and 18-19. So, it's just incredible what he's consistently doing.
Yeah, and I mean, he's obviously helped his team win multiple championships. I think 3 cups with them, and
3, 09 and 16 and 17.
Yep, 08 probably should have been, but
young team, young team. We got outplayed that whole series.
Yep. I mean, Detroit, obviously, those guys were together for how long?
Ever.
I mean, that was a team that, I mean, you can't hate on any of those guys. I mean, they're some of the greatest. I mean, Lidstrom, personally, again, there's another guy. Lidstrom, how many Norris trophies, and was he the leading scorer? No. He was just a solid defenseman that you don't want to be coming down the ice and you're seeing Lidstrom in front of you. Like, well, same with Nicholas Kronwall. You don't want to getting Kronwalled.
I think if we win 08-09, we don't make it back in 7-08. We don't make it back in 08-09. We made the right moves. We went and picked up the right guys. We went and picked up vet guys to teach these younger guys. And everything just kind of fell in line. We dominated those up until that last game, or until the last series that took us to 7 games. But I just want to see them be in the playoffs again. I have never been to a NHL playoff game. And then I got my Penguins tattoo on my arm, and I said as soon as there's a Penguin game, playoff game, I'm going. And then they haven't had a playoff game since. So I jinxed it.
Yeah, the last time I've been to one playoff game ever. It was a Sabres Bruins playoff game. I think it was game 6. Or no, it might have been game 5. It was the last home playoff game in Buffalo, if I'm correct. They might have went to the next year and lost to the Flyers. I know they lost to the Flyers in the first round. That might have been the year before. It might have been that year. But it was one of the last years they went to the playoffs, played Boston. I think they won like 6-4 or something like that. And there was a giant brawl at the end of the game. It took them like 20 minutes to get everyone separated and off the ice. It was a great game. It was all exciting. And then since then, they haven't been to the playoffs and have been the worst team in the league. So I definitely would love to go to another playoff game. I mean, any team makes the playoffs. I don't care what team it is. A hockey game is a hockey game, and especially in the playoffs. A playoff game with any 2 teams.
Let's hope it's the Penguins, and we will make a trip down to Pittsburgh. I have 1 billion jerseys you can wear.
I'll just wear my JagrBombs jersey.
Oh, you could. That's fair enough. Fair enough. You can do that. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have. Do you have anything else? Shit, I dropped my gauge. I'm an amateur today. I'm like fiddling with everything.
Yeah, no, it's been a day. New setup here, trying to late day, getting all set up. Okay. Excited, obviously. I mean, 3? We got
Thursday, Friday. So we have 3 more sleeps. 3 more sleeps. But I'm trying to get over a head cold. I'm a little stuffy. I'm coughing. I've been muting my mic and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get better before that. I'm in like day 3 or 4 of my head cold. I'm on PTO for like a week and a half. So like I'm just kind of recovering. But yeah, like mentally, I'm ready. Mentally, I'm ready to skate. I'm ready to skate hard. We've had all. I mean, I haven't had all summer off, but we've had plenty of time off. Plenty of time not working out either. So my cardio is going to be dog shit. But
yeah, that is. I
get
did.
my legs.
I spent 3 months, I think, sitting around doing absolutely nothing because I couldn't do a damn thing, and
Yeah.
I don't think I started actually even be able to run for from from the end of April till end of July. I couldn't even run or do anything. So I'm definitely feeling it. And I'm maybe hey, we'll figure out a way back on the ice and
Get your legs moving. I know like the next couple days I'm gonna be on my stationary bike downstairs, getting my legs going just to feel the blood pumping a little bit. So that's my plans, and then just come in ready to play some hockey on Saturday. We've talked about it enough. We should know how to play it now.
Yeah, we'll try to get one more round in on the links and then we're done. Back then it's off to the ice.
Switch our focus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Switch a golf. We gotta trade our golf clubs for our hockey sticks.
Yeah. So I don't know. That sounds good to me. I think this is the perfect place to end it. And then we're gonna have some mic'd up content. I think we're gonna do some like the random questions too, like to the players. We'll see who actually wants to participate. It's probably gonna be the same 4 guys that always do. And then kind of go from there. But we're trying to bring more. We're trying to bring more than just a podcast because the numbers aren't there for here because they don't know us yet.
So, yeah, you know what? They're gonna know us after Saturday. Hey, that's what matters. Hey, gotta build the brand, get everyone in it. I mean, it's hockey. Who doesn't love hockey?
It's true. All right, sounds good to me. I feel like it's a perfect place to end it. We will catch up next week. We'll have more content, and that's pretty much it. I gotta come up with better outros. Be perfect if we had a sponsor. I could read the sponsor and then be like, "Thanks for watching, guys. See ya."
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that.
Well, thank you for joining me, Varney. I appreciate you being here because Joe could not. I guess I could have invited Sean on his lunch break, but we'll catch him next time. Or I'll do like a little supplemental episode with him. I can do that. But,
perfect.
All right, sounds good. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hockey content on our page. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.